recently I've started to get some just excitement about life stories because I find that they're so powerful. When we share our own stories, it's so powerful. When we dive into our experiences and take ownership and embrace our stories, it is probably the most powerful thing I've done for myself. And because of all the shame I was living in, because of all these stories that I tell myself, but then the situations that I feel have defined me, I have found a lot of healing in telling and owning my own story. And I love hearing other people's stories. I created it's a PDF for prompts for people to write their own life stories. And it's just a little bit more creative than just the usual go through where were you born and who is your family. A lot more meaningful, I guess, than some of our situations of our story. So I'm just letting people share their stories, and it's find connection with what we can learn from other people's stories. And I'm going to turn these into audio podcasts, and then also just the videos that I have on YouTube. My podcast is Our Thriving Community. And if you want to go next, you can totally share your story too. My stepfather is someone I wanted to get to know. So I asked him questions. I think I took a total of 2 hours asking him questions at 30-minute increments, probably just throughout a week. And so I wrote his life story, and I heard stories from him that completely opened up my eyes about his childhood, he told me stories that he had never told me before. And then it just built connection with us and an understanding where he's coming from. And then even talking about like his future, like why are you here? Why do you think God has you doing these things? I would love for people to recognize that God's hand is in our lives, and he's blessing us with these trials. These are blessings. He loves us enough to keep giving us these challenges so that we can learn and grow and gain. So anyway, and so I wrote that story for him, and when I gave it to him, I put it in a hardbound book, and I gave it to him for Christmas, or actually his birthday. And he said it was the best gift he'd ever been given. And it took me no longer than 2 hours and less than $20. So it was so valuable for me and him. And so now I'm like wanting to do this. So I made that a PDF, and then I turned it into an ebook I mentioned earlier. And I'm just giving that out to people who want to write their life story for the purpose of connecting with themselves, understanding their life story and what it is that God has what is he having you learn. Anyway, Sherry has the experience with writing her life story and the changes that it made for her in connecting with herself. But just the act of writing her story was something that was enlightening for her, that she mentioned.
Thank you. And I was going to tell you, Sherry, it really was your prompts, because that was the only way I was able to get that done. So thank you for that. It was awesome.
Yeah, very good. Thank you. And we'll keep doing these podcasts and interviews and getting to know people and your stories. But even if you don't get on something like this to share it with a community of people, I would encourage you to just write your story down. And if you ever feel comfortable sharing it, I guarantee you will be able to touch someone. Your story is your message, is what I believe. And that really makes you who you are. So anyway, thanks you guys for joining. Have a good night.